So yesterday I did a video, and in that video is titled "Can you be helpful to African Americans if you are married outside your race?" And there is a lively discussion going on in the comment section of that video. But one part of that discussion bothers me, and it bothers me because I know that for the people who are having this discussion, it's a holdover from two different things, and we're going to discuss those two different things. But the fact that you have the mindset that only people who are not rich can give money and it comes from their heart is a problem, and it's something that keeps you from becoming wealthy yourself. Let's talk about that, because that's a serious problem. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and I want to thank everybody for joining me right now. I want to thank all my patrons, especially. Thank you. I appreciate the dedication that you're showing and the fact that you show this much love to my channel. We talk about the 360 degrees of life on this channel. If you're finding me for the first time, we talk about money, we talk about love, we talk about relationship, we talk about your health, we talk about spiritual things, we talk about historical things, we talk about a whole lot of stuff. So take what you like. Take what works for you from this channel, throw away the rest. So, we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, money and taxes. Money and taxes. For those who know me well, they know that in 1990, when I was in the Marine Corps, and I had to pay taxes, I was livid. I was pissed. I was like, I only make $1,300 a month, and I got to pay taxes? Are you serious? I don't make any money. Why am I paying taxes? So I had to pay taxes. I was irritated. So after that year, and I had to pay, it was like $501 that I had to pay. So after that year, I went and I studied the Pub 70. I learned as much as I could about taxes. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have all those sorts of things back then. So I went to the library. I went and to the IRS and found out that what I needed to read, and I read it. I read it and I studied it. 99% of the information was in there. It didn't have nothing to do with me. But I studied it anyway, and I understood it. Boy, if I had a farm, I could get all kind of tax deductions. So I was reading it, and I learned that if you have a business, all kinds of tax deductions. So I studied the hell out of that Pub 70. And from 1991 till today, I have never, ever paid taxes. Because I know how to use the tax code to benefit me in such a way that I don't pay taxes. I've never been without a business, a legit business set up correctly so that I don't have to pay taxes. Now, I'm missing out on something right now, and I'm going to tell you guys about that in a few minutes, and that's going to get set up in the next 3-4 months so that I can have even more of a tax deduction, and y'all need to jump on it. But it's something rich people do. So you might have a problem with it. You might have a problem with it. Because in that video that I mentioned that I did yesterday, people are talking about the fact that Mr. Smith did not give that money out of his heart. He gave that money to save taxes so that he get the money back in taxes. So he's not really giving it. You don't get all that money back in taxes. It just gives you a tax deduction, but you give $40 million, you don't get $40 million back. That doesn't work that way. You just get a tax break for giving that money. Only up to 30% of your income can be given in order for you to get a tax break. Anything over 30%, you can be carried over to the next year. But then if the next year you give that much again, then you still have to carry even more over again. And the carryovers work for you when you have that year that you weren't able to give as much, or you didn't give as much, then you claim the carryover from the previous years. So, and that's still only going to be up to 30% of your income for that year. So it's a whole lot of tax implications here. And yeah, part of the reason why they gave it is for the tax break. Part of the reason. But that doesn't mean that they didn't give it for that reason. Let me give you one little piece right here. If a person is just given to charities just for the tax break, then it wouldn't matter what charity they gave it to, right? They could give it. Robert Smith didn't have to give that money to all those black students. Robert Smith didn't have to give the money to the Louis Armstrong Museum. He didn't have to give money to the African American Museum in D.C. He didn't have to give money to support research on prostate and breast cancer in African Americans. Now, you may disagree with the organizations that he gave the money to, but it's his prerogative to give the money to whomever he chooses to give it to. And because it's his prerogative, he chose to give it to what is in his mind helpful to black people. Whether you think the organization is helpful to black people, whether you think the museum is doing what the museum should be doing, okay, get on the board of the museum and change what they're doing. Get involved in holistic medicine and create an organization and make it popularize it so that people who have a Western mind think will then support your charity or support your organization. So there are ways, but you have to understand, people have grown up and assimilated into a Western culture. So they're going to maintain white coat syndrome. So the white coats say that this is medicine. People are going to go and do what the white coats say. The white coats say take this pill, get this surgery. They're going to go and do what the white coats say. They're not looking at the herbalist and saying that how can we heal based on what the earth already provides for. And you know what? That's a whole nother video right there. That's a whole nother video. So they're not doing that. They got Western mentality, so they're giving to what they think is Western, but that doesn't mean they're not giving from their heart. That doesn't mean they're not giving from their heart. We have this thing where we have grown up, no matter what religion you are, you have grown up thinking that people who amass a lot of money are evil. People who amass a lot of money have done dirty, nasty, wrong, crooked, devious things in order to get that money, and that therefore their souls are tainted and they cannot give from the heart, that they just about money, 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 money. And we've grown up in this because one of the things that started me on one of my journeys, my spiritual journey, was the fact that a preacher stood up and said that all rich people are evil and all rich people are going to hell, because he held up a sewing needle and said, because a camel can't go through the eye of this needle. And at that time frame in my life, we was poor, and I didn't like being poor. Poor was not, I didn't wear it well. So it started me on my spiritual journey of asking questions in the spirit world. I had already been asking other questions, but now I got to ask questions about money and that sort of thing, because I wanted to be rich, but I didn't want to be evil and go to hell. You know, I was 9 years old. So, and you'll hear me talk more about that in my video of 3 questions that I asked when I was 9 years old that started my journey from Christianity. But the point here is not a religious debate, but the point here is the fact that those kinds of teachings and that kind of group mind think that rich people are evil, or they have this negativity about them, that they don't do good work, that only poor people can do good work. You see, poor people are poor because they don't know how to manage money for the most part. Most people in America, let me put it like that. Most people in America and Western cultures are poor because they don't know how to manage money. Most people are stuck in whatever economic cycle they're in because we don't know how to manage money as well as this group that is financially ahead of us. If you learn how to manage money like the group that's financially ahead of you, then you won't do things the way you're doing it. Because here's the thing. You would give to, when you give money, I never give money to the guy on the side of the road. I give money to organizations that helps the guy on the side of the road. I never give money to the couple that's sitting on the side of the road with a sign, or sitting on the street with a sign. I give money to the shelters, to the organizations that are helping people with the sign. Now, so for me, is that person sitting on the street needs to go to the organization, you know, that's helping. But I give money to where I can get a receipt back so that I can get a deduction on my taxes, because I don't want to pay taxes, right? Now, let me tell you something that I'm going to do that I don't know why I didn't realize this before. And it's like, for real, dude, for real? You didn't realize this? So as you guys know, I got my kids, 23, almost 20, 18, graduated high school, in college. Of course, we've been giving money to the college kid. They have their grants, their scholarships, but the family has been giving money to the college kids. And we have so many kids in our family who have, my larger extended family, who have been going to school, going to college. And we all give money, you know, here's $20 here, here's $100 there, here's $500. My middle child needs $3,800 to go to a overseas program for her in Tokyo. All right, for graphic illustrations and animation. I think it's graphic illustration. She's a graphic illustrator. That's what she's going to school for. $3,800. And I'm ready to just give it out my pocket without getting anything back. So I was so after having this discussion, so yesterday I'm thinking like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I have to go in now and research what type of situation I got to set up that will be titled more than likely, because I want my larger family to get involved in it, since we have so many. We have, like, y'all seen our family vacations, like 80 jokers going somewhere. But, and you know, most of them are kids. But we are always giving money to these kids going to trade schools and going to college and things like that. So it's probably gonna be called like the Ross Reed family, or the Ross Family Scholarship Fund. But I got to figure out, is it a 501c3? What kind of 50 whatever it's supposed to be is going to be. So I'll be calling one of my lawyer friends and find out what kind of 50 it's supposed to be. And we're going to set up this scholarship fund so that when I need to give money to my child to go to this program in Tokyo, it's going through the organization and then to her. When these little jokers call me and say, Dad, I need $30, I need that money to come out of the scholarship fund. When they need $100, it needs to come out of the scholarship fund. They need to be awarded a stipend, you know, a continuous stipend, so that I can get a tax break on this money. There's no way in October I'm paying this $3,800 without getting a tax break. So Simone, if you listen to this, I'm getting my tax break. And that's the thing. Am I not giving it from my heart? It's my daughter. Of course I'm giving it from my heart. If I give to my niece Tatiana, who just graduated and she's going to college, am I not giving it from my heart? Of course I'm giving it from my heart. When I give it to when I give it to the veteran organizations, of course I'm giving it from my heart. My company, Uncle Ren's Popcorn, we do fundraisers. But we people always ask me just to give a donation. I'm like, no, I do fundraisers. You know why? Because my company gets a tax deduction when I do the fundraiser. I don't give money without getting a tax deduction. But here I am, stupidly been giving money without tax deduction. I'm just I was so dismayed and pushed by myself. Like, really? You didn't think of this a long time ago? You've seen rich people do this over and over and over and over again. Why haven't you done it? But that's the thing. Rich people know how to manage their money to their benefit. That does not mean they're not giving it from their heart. Bill Gates gives 98% of his income away, or something like that. It's like when he passes on, his estate goes to charities. Robert Smith has set it up where when he passes away, he's joined that pledge, and his estate will go to charities. 98% of his estate goes to charities of his choosing when he transitions. Now, I don't know what charities he's going to give to. So if he gives to like 90% black charities, does that mean he didn't give from his heart? Come on, people. We got to stop thinking rich people are wrong, rich people are evil, and that only poor people can give from their heart. Rich people just know how to give. Sorry about that. Rich people just know how to give and utilize that money. That's one of the reasons why they're rich. And if you guys don't realize that you have to learn how to manage your money like the group above you. Like the group above you. And for y'all who know that was a lift thing, that's just wrong again. I don't care. I'm not editing this out either. But you got to know that's how rich people manage their money. And if you want to increase your wealth, you got to start managing your money like rich people. That's why my financial alchemy clients, the first thing that they have to learn is the budget. Rich people have budgets and they don't go outside their budgets. Rich people know how to use the tax code, so we learn how to use the tax code. Rich people know how to work their credit, so we learn how to work our credit. Rich people know how to build business systems. So my goal would be for people to learn how to build business systems who are in financial alchemy. This is what rich people do. And I'm on the path to becoming rich, wealthy. See, wealth is different. Wealth is like having all the love, the family, the time, and all that. Rich is having all the money. I want to have both. All right, I'm going to have both. So in having both, what that means is I have to function like rich people function. And you have to function like that. And what? So when I'm rich, are you guys going to then turn on me and say that, oh, Coach Renz used to be down for the people, but Coach Renz ain't down for the people no more, because he just giving that money because he just trying to get a tax deduction. That's the only reason he's giving to this organization or that organization, you know, is because he only down. So if I'm supporting people like Kevin, are you going to say that I'm only giving to just to get the tax deduction? Because I can tell you right now, if Kevin ain't got it, I mean, he has a 501c3, but if it ain't, I'm not giving nothing. right? So we have to start thinking like rich people if you want to become wealthy. And if you want to help people become what you say that you want them to become, you want to help the world become what you say you want the world to become, then we have to learn these things. We have to become these things. But one of the first things we have to do is stop the way we think. Because if you think like that, then you're never going to put forth the action. Your vibration is never going to get into the right frequency for you to become wealthy, because you're going to have this negative thought that if I become rich, I'm going to lose my soul or my spirit or my love or whatever. So you have to stop thinking that way in order to get there. Because as long as you're thinking that way, you're going to stop yourself. You're going to self-implode. You're going to create situations that fail. You're going to self-sabotage. So in order to not self-sabotage and to keep your mindset in the right frequency, in the right vibration, so that your actions follow, you have to stop thinking that rich people only give money for tax deductions, and because that's going to stop you from becoming that. This is another aspect of, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Oh, and I forgot to add one more thing. I know some people are going to come back and say, well, I think that Michael Jackson gave from his heart, or somebody like that. When the truth of that statement is really, if it's a rich person that I like, if it's a rich person that I admire, then of course, whatever they gave came from their heart. But the only reason you say that is because it's a rich person that you admire. It's a rich person that you like. We're humans. We do that. If we like someone, we're going to think the best of them. If we dislike someone, we're going to think the worst of them. So, and if we're indifferent, we're just going to be indifferent and have our general thought. So basically, just because you like someone does not mean that what they're doing is from their heart. And just because you dislike someone does not mean that what they're doing is not from their heart. So before you say, well, I believe that these people or those people, they gave from their heart, it's because you like them. You have a favorable opinion of them in general. So take that into consideration before you make that statement as well. So once again, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.